Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today we are looking at Nomad Cosmetics new palette. This is America's Route 66. The color story in here is amazing. I'm seriously just like really in love with this. So it does have quite a bit of neutral shades. We've got lots of browns and golds and nice transition shades. But then this middle section right here, shimmer pink, shimmer blue, shimmer green, like I just love this. So pretty. I did a look a little while back that mostly concentrated on the shimmer green and the shimmer pink and then some of the teals. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that up before we start doing the second look so that you can kind of get a view for all the different looks that this palette can create, because the look that I want to do with you today is for Nomad's brand challenge that is going on right now. And by the time I get this video up, it might actually be over because I think it ends on the 27th, and I don't know how long this is going to take me to edit. But the brand challenge that they're doing right now is creating a look, and you can use this palette or just a similar color story. You don't have to own the palette to do the brand challenge. But a look that's inspired by the Southwest or the areas through which Route 66 runs. So I'm going to try and do kind of a more neutral look inspired by kind of the rock striations that appear in the Southwest, because those are so beautiful and one of my favorite bits about the Southwest. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Okay, so I think where I'm gonna start is I'm just gonna put Road of Dreams, this super neutral shade, just kind of all over the lid and out a little bit, and we're gonna kind of blend everything on top of that because I think that will be a little easier to work with. And I'm gonna use kind of a bigger brush for this just because I know I'm going to be using a lot of it. And I'm going to put a little bit under the eye too, just to kind of line that and neutralize some of the color that I've got going on, and just to create a nice base for what we're going to do with it in the future. Okay, so now we're going to start with our lines. So I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to do Go West next. And then I'm going to come back in later and use this one, Cadillac Ranch, as like a liner, but it's also going to be one of the striations that we have. But I'm going to start with Go West, just because I think I should go in with this last. And I'm using this brush from Blend Bunny. I'm going to be using mostly Blend Bunny brushes today, although I might have to pull out some of my ColourPop ones just because I'm going to need a lot with kind of this thin edge. You can see, I think that's going to work best for the striations. So we're going to try and see how this goes. Okay, so I've got Go West, and I'm just going to try, yeah, and I'm going to bring it out a little. And this is all going to be kind of blended out. I'm not going to have real precise lines, mostly because I'm not very good at precise lines. So we're going to make it just look a little fuzzy, a little out of focus, but I think it'll be pretty. Okay, so that's our first layer down. I'm thinking next we go in with On the Road again, just to make up our next layer of rock. Okay, I can tell you already this is not going to be perfect layering, but we're just going to say that anything that isn't perfect is just like a natural variation in the rock, so it's fine. Okay, so I'm going to pull out another thinner brush. This one is by Moda. I like the Moda brushes. They're pretty good, not quite as good as my Blend Bunny ones, but they're always pretty, so I have a lot. Okay, and we're gonna go in next with Gemini Giant. Okay, I've got another thin brush, and then I want to put something in my crease, and I think I am gonna go darker and pick up this Cadillac Ranch. And this is the thinnest of the thin brushes that I've been using, so I'm gonna try and make this a nice thin layer. Okay, and now I'm just gonna go in and kind of put another layer of everything on. I don't know, I find it looks nicer if you can go back in and just sort of put that another layer down. That way the colors will stand out better. I don't know, I like it. Okay, and then as like a liner for that, not really a liner, as like an above the crease kind of a pretty thing, I'm gonna put Winslow, this shimmer, and I'm gonna try my best to kind of keep it in a defined line. We'll see how this goes. Pulling out my thinnest brush yet. This is one I usually use for liner, so it's super thin, and hopefully, oh, I was gonna use Winslow. Hopefully we'll be able to get a pretty defined line. Okay, yes, this is exactly what I was hoping for. Okay. Okay, we're gonna try and go for a similar thing under the eye, but we're gonna go in with Monger Moss and the super orange shimmer. I think this will be gorgeous. Yes, this is so great. Okay, and then very last, I want to go in with Comet 2 as kind of like a blend, but of course it's a shimmer, so I think it'll look pretty. And I'm not going to use my super thin liner brush for these. This is the smallest brush size that Blend Bunny makes, so it's still pretty small. But yeah, I do want to kind of smudge this shimmer. Yes, this is so great. Okay, very last. And this is like the final touch, and I'm really excited about it. My also favorite part about the Southwest is the always gorgeous blue sky. So for the inner corner, we're just going to do this big pop of blue that I think will be so pretty. Yes, I think this is so perfect. And for this look, I'm going to do a colorful mascara. This one is called Left on Red. It's from ColourPop, their BFF mascara. Black would probably look better. I like color, and I think I might tie it together. We'll see. Okay, I actually do like this. The red is cute. Oh my goodness, I almost totally forgot I was going to do a liner. So I'm going to go in with Cadillac Ranch. Okay, and then for all that craziness, we're going to do kind of a neutral blush. This is the Bare Cheeks palette from Blend Bunny. This is their kind of neutralish blush palette. I usually use Love Me because it works well with my skin, but today we might go with Making Me Blush just because we've got all this like warm tone going on. And before I totally blend that out, I'm going to put my highlight on just because that's kind of how I like to do it. And then I can blend it all together. So this palette is Your Highlight is Too Bright. I think it's by Nomad Cosmetics. And I'm going to go with their kind of orangish peaches and popcorn because I love that one. I love that highlight because it blends out to like this really pretty gold. Oh, I just think it looks so pretty. I don't know, honestly, I couldn't tell you what kind of skin I have. I just know that I think warm tones look nice on me, and I think cool tones look nice on me. So, I don't know, I guess genetic lottery, or I just look silly and I don't know it. Okay, and to finish this off, I'm going to pick kind of an unobtrusive lip color. This is Bring the Juice by Blend Bunny in the color Juicy. They have these on super deep discount on their website right now because they know they're coming out with a whole bunch more lip oils in their new masterclass line. Personally, I really love these. So if you want to try some Blend Bunny lip oils, this is a great time. These are so cheap. I think they're like $1.50 maybe. It's crazy. I like that. It's like a nice tint of color. Probably could have gone better with like a neutral orange. But I don't know. I don't mind this one. Plus, I think I said before, not great at lip color. The lip oils just work better for me because I'm not going to make a mess with them. So there you have it. This is my rock formations look using the Nomad Route 66 palette. And I'm also going to show you next my other look that I did with them, I think a couple weeks ago when I very first got this palette, that turned out super cute. Okay, so now that I have used a whole lot of the shades in this palette, I haven't used all, but I've used most of them now. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what I think about it. First of all, I think this is a fun color story. I usually don't go in for neutrals. They're less my thing. But like I did here, like I feel like this turned out cool. It's not a neutral glam. It's not like a super ordinary because I don't like that. I like to stand out a little bit. So here's something you can do with neutrals that's like not your typical everything that you would normally do. But of course, you probably could make a cute, like little neutral look with just a pop of color. Any one of these shimmers, I think, would work really well for a pretty pop of color. Because these shimmers perform magnificently. Even just to be able to use my fine little liner brush and to make a line with the shimmers, I have trouble doing that with so many other brands, like Blend Bunny shimmers. I can never get them to do this for me. So this is fantastic. I'm super excited. And the mattes are super blendable. And when I was doing the look with the greens, that was like so easy to just blend, 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 blend. Oh, they fade together so nice. It looks so nice. I don't know. I feel like I might never have a negative thing to say about Nomad Cosmetics. I might someday, like maybe someday they'll put out a terrible palette and I'll tell you if I think it's a terrible palette. But thus far, I have never encountered a terrible palette from Nomad. I think they're all just so pretty. I especially love all of the bright colors of shimmers they included in here. And I know that's like for the neon signs of Route 66 is what I think these three specifically are supposed to represent. But they just work so well in this color story. Like you have so many mattes that you can build like a nice normal look off of. We got all these neutrals over here. And these, like I use this in my look as my neutral for like cool, kind of a yellow undertone, because I think that's what I have is kind of a yellow undertone. So this worked super well as a neutral for me for that. And there's just so many. I love it. I love the variety. I love this color story. It's beautiful. I could go on forever, but I will stop. So there you have it. That is the Route 66 palette from Nomad Cosmetics. It's currently available on their website. I forget how much money it is, but you can go on there and check it out for yourself. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.